finish it, we can get you more.
You guys are the best. Just depends on how long this interview is, huh? Either that or how fast I drink this water.
There you go. It'll be short this week, no worries.
So you earned a win in your UFC debut. How does that feel?
Ah, man, it feels like a dream come true. It really does. You know, I first started training when I was 4 years old, and when I was about 14, so I knew I wanted to be in the UFC. I'm 27 now, so it's been a long journey, and which makes this moment just that much sweeter.
Was there any doubt that it would happen? I mean, after Contender Series and then going back to LFA?
Yeah, you know, if I'm being completely honest, and I don't think I've ever talked about this publicly in any interview or anything, but I had a split decision loss just about a year ago. It was last July, and it was a fight that I thought that I won. I'm 12-4 now. Of my 4 losses, 3 of those were split decision losses. 3 of those all were fights that I thought that I won. And last year in July, that was the first time I'd ever questioned anything in my career. That was the first time I had ever been like, am I doing the wrong thing with my life? You know, why can't I get these decisions to go my way? If I wasn't finishing a fight, which I now have 12 wins, 11 of those were finishes. And I just started thinking, man, if I'm not finishing the fight, I'm losing these calls. What am I doing wrong? Am I on the right path? Is God trying to tell me something? You know, am I supposed to be going down a different road? That was less than a year ago, and here I am now, getting my UFC, you know, making my UFC debut and getting my first win in the UFC against Amir Khani. So it's been an incredible journey, and I'm happy that I stuck it out.
So knowing that you felt like you haven't been winning decisions. When you went to decision, were you like, oh my gosh, it's happening again? Or were you?
A little bit. I was confident in the performance that I put on today. I'm always looking to finish. Like I said, 12 wins now, 11 of those are by finishes. You know, 6 of those by submission, 5 of those by KO or TKO. So I'm always looking to finish. But when I didn't get the finish today, yeah, you know, a part of me was questioning, did I do enough? I felt like I did, but I knew that it was kind of close from what I could tell. I got to go back and watch it. But just because in the past, when I didn't find the finish, I found myself on the losing end. So I did kind of think that, like, damn it, you know, here we go again. I didn't get the finish. I hope the judges don't score for him. And, you know, I guess if there was a time for the judges to get it right or for me to finally win that decision, it was here in the UFC, right? So I'm happy. This was me on 10 days' notice against the guy who went the decision with who went the distance with Edson Barboza. So if I can go out there and get a decision win over Amir Khani in 10 days, wait till I get a full camp.
So would you say that, I mean, I know that everybody wants that finish, but maybe because of the symbolism of everything you're describing, maybe it was meant to be a decision. Is that how you felt?
I'm always looking for the finish, always, but it does feel good that when I do finally get that first decision win, it's where it matters most in my career, here in my UFC debut.
And can you tell us a little bit about getting the call? Where were you? How'd that happen? What were you feeling?
Well, the last 3 weeks, so I fought 3 weeks ago for LFA main event, and I took that fight on short notice. So I took that fight on 12 days notice and fought, you know, main event, LFA. After that fight, I you know, I had some bumps and bruises. I cut my eye open, you know, from an elbow in that fight, so I had stitches. And then I actually thought that I broke my right foot from a kick in my LFA fight. So initially what I wanted to do was I wanted to fight in LFA, win that fight, and then I wanted to fight in the UFC next weekend, the event that's going to be in Glendale, because that's where my home gym is. My home gym is in Peoria, Arizona, which is right next to Glendale. So I thought, man, how cool would it be if I fought for LFA, won that, and then took a fight in the UFC here in Glendale, where my home gym is. And then after that fight in LFA, I thought, you know what, that's probably not going to happen because of this cut and because of the way my foot's feeling. Lo and behold, I end up taking a fight a week before, you know, that event that's going to be in Arizona next weekend. So I took a fight on even shorter notice, on 10 days notice. But when the door opens, you know, you gotta be able to jump all over that and take it, which is what we did. So the last 3 weeks, really the last month, has been kind of a whirlwind, and I'm excited to now take a step back. And I think now it's finally going to set in. When I got the call to fight in the UFC, it was exciting. It was a dream come true. But I had a task at hand, and it was all business. I have to beat Amir Khani. And now that the fight is over, I think I'm going to really sit back, kind of reflect on the last month and be like, man, what a whirlwind it's been. And it's been incredible last few weeks.
So you mentioned your last fight was also short notice. Do you feel like maybe that's a better thing? You're not overtraining, you're not overthinking, you're just going right in?
A little bit. I had a conversation with my dad about that, and you know, there's some pros and cons. The pros would be you don't really have as much time to think. You just kind of go. The cons would be the weight cut and not being in fight shape. You know, I wasn't in fight shape when I fought in LFA a few weeks back, and I wasn't in fight shape for this fight either. But with full camps, you have the risk of injuries, you have the risk of overtraining as well. So there really are pros and cons. As long as I have a good base, like a good foundation of being in shape, of conditioning, then I'm able to take those short notice fights. And I'm always in the gym, I'm always training. So even though I might not be in fight shape, I'm always in good enough shape to be able to jump on a short notice call like this.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
When you take a short notice fight like this, is there even a chance to game plan, or you just worry about what you need to do out there?
Yeah, well, I train everything. You know, and this isn't. I'm not trying to give you a cop-out answer. I truly train everything, and pretty much equally. I train as much wrestling as I do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, as I do boxing, as I do Muay Thai, as I do MMA, putting everything together. That's just how our schedule is for training. I train at Siege MMA in Peoria, Arizona, and then I do some cross-training over at Fight Ready MMA in Scottsdale as well, where a lot of killers come out of. And so we're always training everything all the time. So for me, it's just a matter of being in good enough shape to take a fight, which most of the time I am.
And I'm sure you still had some time to sort of think about how this fight might play out. How closely did it play out to what you envisioned that this fight would play out?
Well, I think he threw 3 flying knees in the first round. And I told Dominic Cruz before this fight when we were doing the interview, I said, look, man, as long as I don't get flying knee or anaconda, I think I win this fight. Because he said, hey, what do you have to watch out for? I said, he likes to throw up anaconda chokes, and he likes to throw flying knees. I think within the first minute and a half, he threw 3 flying knees, and I was still standing. So I'm like, okay, now I just got to watch out for that anaconda choke, and as long as I don't get caught by that, I like the way this fight's going.
And then lastly, when you think about where your career, how the momentum is going for you right now, where do you envision that you see yourself within the division in short order? Yeah,
man, that's a great question. I'll tell you this right now. When I made my pro debut, I fought for $300 flat. It was $300, win or lose, take it or leave it. My point is, I haven't done this for money. I was doing this long before I ever made any kind of money. My goal has strictly been to be the best fighter in the world. There have been talks about me over my career about possibly signing with Bellator or maybe PFL, some of these other organizations, and those thoughts never, even when I had offers or whatever, they never were of any interest to me. My goal has always been to be the best fighter in the world, and I think that's always the goal. So whatever, coming in here, beating Amir Khani for my LFA debut, I think it's a good launch pad for my UFC career now, and I only want to be moving forward, and I want to fight for the belt at some point in the near future, and that's the goal, man. It's just who do I got to fight, who do I have to beat to constantly be climbing the ladder in this division to become the best.
And when you said that about money, it reminded me, I wanted to ask you, is this full-time? Do you do this full-time, or you still have another gig off to the side that you have to do?
Yeah, that's a good question. So my family owns the gym that I train at. My dad opened up the gym when I was 13 years old. So I train, and then I'm coaching as well, and then I also help run the family business. So it's all tied into MMA. But yeah, I do work the family business, and I do coach outside of training and fighting.
Okay, so that probably answers, I guess my follow-up would have been, when you had those moments where you thought, is this going to be right for me? What would your path have been if fighting didn't work out for you? What would you have thought about doing?
Honestly, I don't even know. I'm sure it would have been related to the family business somehow. But that was another thought I've never had a plan B. In fact, when I was in high school, after my sophomore year of high school, I did online school. I talked to my parents. I threw this out there because I didn't think that my parents would actually say yes. But before my junior year, I was like, hey, Mom and Dad, there's no MMA in high school. Like there's no team or anything. What do you guys think if I did online school? And I kind of waited because I thought they'd be like, hell no, you're not doing online school. And both of them were like, okay, we know that you want to pursue your MMA career. They said, you can do online school as long as you prove to us that you'd be disciplined with it and you do summer school first. I was shocked. I was like, oh, this is actually a possibility. So I did summer school after my sophomore year of high school and had no problems. And then I did online school for my junior year, and I just focused on training. My point in saying that is there's never been a plan B.
Yeah.
So I think that's what made, when I lost that split decision, a fight that I thought that I won last year, it made everything that much more scary because I was like, if this doesn't work out, I don't know what's next for me. I don't know what that plan B is because I've never thought that far. And that was less than a year ago. So it's pretty amazing to see how fast things can change.
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, who needs a senior prom when you got a career path like in the UFC laid out
Thanks,
for you?
man. You know, some people told me, they said, you're going to do online school? You know, they told me, man, how could you skip out on your high school career? High school, those are the best 4 years of my life. That's what people would tell me. And every single time anyone ever said that, I felt bad for them. High school, those are the best 4 years of your life? You haven't done anything since? Nothing of any kind of significance since high school? And if anything, that motivated me more, you know? But yeah, I think that I've made the right decisions. And, you know, I'm a religious guy, man. I believe in God. I'm a Jesus follower, so I've always been like, hey, God, whatever the plan is, as long as I do my part, I know you'll do yours. And win or lose today, I knew even coming into this fight, win or lose, I was just grateful to God for the opportunity, man. And now we just keep moving forward from here.
Congrats on the win. Welcome to the UFC.
Thank you very much, man. I appreciate it.